This chapter is 7G and 7H, units of measure. In this chapter, you'll learn how to choose the right unit for measurement, how to read scales and measuring devices, and also how to convert metric units. So first of all, you need to know the basic ideas of conversion. To measure length, we use meters of some form. So millimeters, centimeters, meters, and kilometers. That's to measure how long something is or how tall something is. To measure weight, how heavy something weighs, we use grams and kilograms. To measure the amount of space, amount of air, or amount of liquid inside of something, we use milliliters, centiliters, and liters. To measure area, meaning, for example, if you have a garden, you want to know how much grass is inside the garden. That's considered area. You use square millimeters, square centimeters, square meters, square kilometers. So again, you use meters of some form, but in a square form because you want to know area. And then time, we know we use seconds, minutes, hours, days, weeks, months, years, decades, centuries, millennia, and so forth. And when we talk about conversions, this is important to know, our basic conversions is that for every 1 centimeter, there is 10 little millimeters. For every 1 meter, there's 100 centimeters. For every 1 kilometer, there is 1,000 meters. In terms of capacity, it's the same idea. So we always have to remember that when we have centimeters to millimeters, there's always going to be 10 little millisomethings into 1 centisomething. So here's 10 millisomethings into 1 centisomething. And so you just have to remember, M is for meters, L is for liters, and G is for grams. So distance or length, liquid, volume, and weight. So we really need to only know 3 ideas: meters, liters, and grams. So, for skill number 1, choose the right unit of measures. Match the appropriate unit of the measurements. So when we look at the left side, length of a rugby field, mass of a person, and so forth, which one of these units on the right matches that? So to measure A, the length of a rugby field, we have to use meters of some form. So would it be meters, square millimeters, square kilometers? Or that's pretty much it. You have 3 choices. And since we're only measuring the length of a rugby field, not the area, the length, A, we would use meters. So at this time, pause and complete the rest. So like we said, for A, we would use meters. For B, the area of a school playing field, we know we have to use square something. So we have square millimeters or square kilometers. Millimeters is very tiny. Like if you look at your ruler, those little lines, those are millimeters. So realistically, we would use square kilometers. C, a mass of a person, meaning how much someone weighs. Well, we have to look for grams. So we have meters, weeks, millimeters, centimeters, square kilometers. Nope, so we want grams. So we have grams or we have kilograms. Grams is good for weighing the amount of weight, for example, of an apple or powder. So kilograms is better for a person. So C is kilograms. Okay, for D, the time to boil an egg. So if we're looking at only units of time, we have seconds and minutes. It doesn't take seconds to boil an egg, it takes minutes. So D is minutes. E, the area of a postage stamp. Now a postage stamp is very tiny and it's talking about area. So we know it has to be square meters or square kilometers. Therefore, it's square millimeters because it's so small. Okay. F, diameter of a DVD. So if you have a DVD is round. The diameter means from one distance of the circle to the other side through the center. And a DVD is not very big, so when we measure that, we want to measure distance. Therefore, we would use centimeters. Now, the capacity of a can of pop, so meaning how much soda can fit inside a can of cola. So we want something with liters. So we have milliliters, and that's really it. So it has to be this one. For H, the mass of a coin, meaning the weight of a coin is very tiny, so it can't weigh very much. And so if we're looking at the mass of a coin, you only have a choice between grams and kilograms. And in this case, since it's so small, we use grams. And then time to run 100 meters. Time to run 100 meters. You're not running very far. It's going to be very fast. So in this case, you would use seconds. And then last, J, time to travel to the moon. Okay, time to travel to the moon. Well, it won't take seconds, nor will it take minutes. However, it could take weeks, or even longer, really realistically. Okay, now we have to learn how to read and measure devices. So write the readings on each of these scales. So looking at these two images, can you write down how long the pencil is and how far the water goes up? Pause. So based on this ruler, it looks like it goes in centimeters. It goes from here 0 to 10 centimeters, and then it travels a little bit more. Actually, please excuse this. So this diagram is a little bit misdirected. You might read it and think that each of these little marks here represents a millimeter. However, we have to be very careful that it's saying in centimeters. So each little mark here represents 1 centimeter. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. This pencil keeps going. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And it looks like it's about 16. So in this case, it's 16 centimeters based on this diagram because it indicates that everything is marked as centimeters. Next, this one is marked as millimeters. And the liquid, technically it curves. And so therefore, it's easy to say, oh, this is about approximately 100, you want to say it's approximately 190 milliliters. However, based on this diagram, the liquid seems to curve. They're trying to create a 3D illusion on you. It'd probably be more appropriate to say it's 200 milliliters. Either one goes, the diagram can be a little misdirected. Okay, finally, the last skill is being able to convert our metric units. But first you have to remember how to multiply by hundreds, tens, and thousands. If you know what to do at this time, just pause the video and start. If you're not sure what to do, remember when we multiply by hundreds or tens or thousands, we're either adding zeros or we're moving the decimal to the right. When we're dividing by tens, hundreds, and thousands, we're either subtracting zeros or we're moving the decimal to the left. Okay? So, for example, 5 times 500, 5 times 100 is 5. It has 2 zeros, add 2 zeros. Okay? If we're doing D, 5 divided by 100, it's 5. Now, we have an imaginary decimal at the end of the number. We add it there, so we move it 2 spaces over. add a decimal where you end and fill it in with a 0. So the answer in this case is 0.05. Pause if you know what to do. Okay, so the first one was 500. The second one, we have to move the decimal 3 zeros to the right, 1, 2, 3. So this makes 5,600. This one we have to move it 2 zeros, 0.34, so 1, 2. This makes 34. We talked about this one as an example before, 0.05. This one, 5.6, we have to move it 3 zeros to the left, 1, 2, 3. So your answer is 0.0056. And then this last one, 0.34, we have 1 0, we have to move the decimal to the left 1. So this makes 0.034. Okay, so now you have to convert one metric unit to another. If you have a way that you know how to do this already, go for it. But naturally, otherwise, you have to remind yourself, in every 1 centimeter is 10 millimeters, 1 meter, 100 centimeters, and 1 kilometer, 1,000. It's the same thing with centiliters to milliliters, liters to centiliters, liters to milliliters. And we have to remember that 1 kilogram is equal to 1,000 grams. So if I show the first one, 8 meters into centimeters, well, I know that for every 1 meter, I have 100 centimeters. So for 8 meters, so I'm going to multiply by 8. So this makes 800 centimeters. So at this time, pause. So this one, 3.6 kilograms into grams. I know that in 1 kilogram, I have 1,000 grams. So in 3 kilograms, I'm going to have 3,000 kilograms because I multiplied by 3. So I have 0.6. So this one right here, 0.6 kilograms, it's going to be 600 kilograms because it's less than 1,000, right? And I multiply this by 1,000. 1, 2, 3. If you look at it, 0.6 times 1,000, it'd be 0.6. Move the decimal. 1, 2, 3. It makes 600. So therefore, 3.6 kilograms is 3,600 grams. Okay, 34 milliliters into liters. I know that in 1 liter, I have 1,000 milliliters. So what I'm going to have to do here is I'm going to have to divide 34 by 1,000 in order to get to liters. So that means I have to move it 3 decimal spaces to the left. Oops. Ignore that decimal. 1, 2, 3. So the answer is 0.034 liters. And finally, 580 millimeters into centimeters. I know that in 1 centimeter I have 10 millimeters. So to find out how many centimeters this is, I divide by 10. So 580 divided by 10, cross off a common 0, is 58 centimeters. That's it.